Hello, welcome to the next in the series of public exam review clips for Biology 3201. In this clip, we'll continue our examination of the endocrine glands, specifically in this case, focusing on the pancreas. Of particular interest in the pancreas, by way of endocrine tissue, are a group of cells known as the islets of Langerhans. The islets of Langerhans, the pancreas, are located near the small intestine. As previously mentioned, the pancreas contains specialized cells, specialized endocrine cells, that are termed the islets of Langerhans. The islets of Langerhans are made up of both alpha cells and beta cells. The primary endocrine function is the fact that these cells secrete two hormones, that being insulin and glucagon. What the insulin does specifically is that insulin causes the conversion of glucose into glycogen. Glycogen in turn will be stored in the liver. It causes excess glucose to be changed to fats, and insulin helps regulate blood sugar levels. Specifically, insulin helps bring blood sugar levels down. Conversely, glucagon has an opposite effect. Glucagon is created by the alpha cells of the islet of Langerhans. What glycogen does is it causes the conversion of glycogen produced in the liver into glucose that is released into the blood as needed. In concert, both insulin and glucagon work together to regulate blood sugar levels. They do this because they are antagonistic to hormones, and they work opposite to each other to ensure that proper blood sugar levels is maintained. By working together, they either increase or decrease the amount of glucose that's present in the blood. They work with each other. If blood sugar levels are increasing, this triggers the release of insulin. This in turn would cause blood sugar levels to drop. If it drops too low, glucagon will be secreted, which in turn causes blood sugar levels to rise. By working together, insulin and glucagon maintain homeostatic levels of blood sugar. If glucose levels are high, insulin is secreted. The result being that cells uptake glucose from the blood, and in turn, blood glucose level drops. If blood glucose levels are dropping, glucagon gets secreted, resulting in the liver converting glycogen into glucose. Glucose then is released, causing blood glucose levels to rise. Pancreas, like all endocrine tissue, is subject to a number of different disorders. One of these is known as type 1 diabetes, or more commonly known as diabetes mellitus. It is also formerly known as juvenile or insulin-dependent diabetes. Typically, it occurs in individuals under 20 years of age. The cause of this disorder is that the beta cells of the islets of Langerhans do not produce enough insulin. As a result, blood sugar levels become abnormally high. The symptoms are fatigue, thirst, weight loss, frequent urination, and blindness if left untreated. The treatment for type 1 diabetes, diabetes mellitus, juvenile insulin-dependent diabetes, is often insulin injections, typically for the rest of the person's life. They will need insulin supplementation, as their body just simply does not produce enough. Type 2 diabetes, or adult onset diabetes, typically occurs in individuals over the 40 years of age. But recently it has been seen that type 2 diabetes has been becoming present in many more, youth in particular. Insulin is produced by the pancreas, but cells do not recognize it. The problem is not in the amount of insulin. The problem is in the way that cells are responding to insulin. As a result of not responding to, not absorbing insulin, cells do not use the sugar that are found in blood. The treatment for type 2 diabetes is typically a regimen of carbohydrate monitoring and exercise. There's a strict control of carbohydrate intake to reduce the amount of sugar in the blood. In past examinations, questions have arisen from this topic as well. One of these reads as follows: which hormone raises blood sugar levels? Your choices are A, adrenaline. Adrenaline is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands, which raises metabolism. Glucagon is produced by the pancreas, as is insulin. Thyroxine is produced by the thyroid gland. The question asks me which one raises blood sugar levels, causes blood sugar levels to go up. This would be glucagon, B. Glucagon causes the conversion of glycogen into glucose. Insulin has the opposite effect. Insulin lowers blood sugar levels. Previously, constructive response questions have been drawn as well. One example is as follows. A researcher surgically removes the islet cells from a rat's pancreas to observe the effects. You are asked to describe 2 symptoms the rat should start exhibiting after the surgery, and also one way the researcher might treat the symptoms that arise. To provide an answer key for this question, ask you to list symptoms, which would be thirst, tiredness, frequent urination, inability to store sugar, loss or deterioration of vision. This would provide 2 points for any 2 of those. The second part, the treatment, advises to give insulin, surgery, diet, and exercise. The reason for this is that the rat, as represented in the question, would have islet cells removed. They would not be producing insulin. They would exhibit the same symptoms as a diabetic. The treatment would be similar. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience with this. I hope you found this learning clip helpful.